And we are live. Good evening, everyone. The crypto markets are on an absolute tear. The DeFi protocols are on fire, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And the reason for this is that Ethereum 2.0 is literally right around the corner of the launch. And in order for you to be a validator, because Ethereum's blockchain is moving from proof of work to proof of stake. And in order for you to be a validator where you can validate transactions and earn fees, you have to have at least 32 ETH. So this is putting a bid underneath the price of Ethereum because everyone's trying to get to 32 ETH so that they can be a validator once we switch to the proof of stake chain. Also, the next thing that you need to understand is that there is a massive amount of capital that's beginning to pour into the crypto space from institutional investors. Look at Grayscale. Now we have JP Morgan looking to get involved. Now we have Goldman Sachs, where they were just saying prior to this that this was a scam, that it was a scheme, that you shouldn't be involved in it. And then now we find out that JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs are getting involved in crypto in a massive and major way, which is why I tell you, don't listen to what people tell you. Just watch what they do. Actions will always speak louder than words. And what many of you don't understand is that we are at the beginning of this new revolution. Seriously, when you understand how small this industry is today, and you understand where this industry is going, you've seen nothing yet. We are dealing with a $370 billion asset class, where the stock market is well over a $90 trillion market as far as market cap is concerned, capitalization. We are at the beginning. And I don't make these videos because I want to brag, but I've been telling you guys, as far as a wealth transfer is concerned, you need to be in crypto. As far as if you're looking for entrepreneurial, a space where you can be an entrepreneur and grow and build things where there isn't a lot of competition, crypto is the place to go. And if you're looking for jobs, the job opportunities that's available in this space, if you know how to develop applications, if you know how to program in C and C++, if you understand how to program smart contracts and deploy dApps with Solidity, you're in demand. And I'm going to show you some of the opportunities and the job opportunities in this space where you need to make sure that you are trying to position yourself from an entrepreneur standpoint and just from an employment standpoint, because the great reset is among us and digital currencies is a part of the great reset. No matter how you may feel about it, it's going to happen. So make sure that you are preparing yourself and being able to catch this wealth transfer. So as you come into the live stream, please like the video, share the video, subscribe, make sure that you hit the notification bell and that you join my mailing list so that if YouTube doesn't send you a notification when I'm going live, you'll still be notified via email when I go live. If you want to contact me, you can either contact me click the link for my Instagram, follow me and shoot me a DM, or you can contact me on my website. If you're someone that's new to crypto and you want to learn about blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies, I created My Tech Academy. We have a free 7-day trial. You can simply go in there, play around for a week. If you like it, you can stay. For those of you who are part of the coding bootcamp, for those of you who are lifetime members, I believe 2 days ago, I uploaded 2 new chapters in the coding bootcamp. Make sure that you're keeping up with the modules because we're going to go from the HTML JavaScript portion and we're going to jump straight into building stuff. And then we're going to get into Solidity, which is the programming language that the Ethereum virtual machine utilizes. So make sure that you're keeping up with the modules so that you do not get left behind. Also, if you become a yearly member at the $450 price point, I'm about to launch a trading psychology, position sizing course, basically really walking you through how to get into the markets from a trading aspect and how to manage those positions, because you do not want to be buying pumps. The last thing you want to do is buy the market once the market's already ran up 50, 60, 70%. So you have to learn how to layer your way in, how to time the market properly, how to do dollar cost averaging, trading psychology, investing psychology. So all of that's going to be covered in, and that's only going to be for yearly members that's coming in at the $450 price point. So and also, if you want to get a consultation, there is a tab to book a consultation. I am not here to try to nickel and dime you. If you want me to address something that I don't know anything about, I'm not taking your money. Like if you wanted me to consult you about, starting a clothing line, I have no knowledge whatsoever about starting a clothing line. I would not be able to help you. I would just simply tell you, hey, I can't help you. So I'm not here to nickel and dime you. And with that being said, guys, please type 1 if you can see and hear me nice and clearly, and we'll get started with the presentation. Okay, I see the ones coming in. We can get started. So we don't need to look at the 24-hour price change. Let's look at the past 7 days. We can see Ethereum was up 16%. Bitcoin's up 1.4%. Let's just do it for the month. Bitcoin's up 27% on the month. Ethereum's up 82%. Ripple's up 51%. You guys, I hate Ripple. I think it's garbage, but I know some of you own it. Congratulations, you're getting a pump. Look at Chainlink. I was telling you guys, any fork of Bitcoin is garbage. So when you see Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, Litecoin, there's no real development happening on those chains. So they don't need to be in the top 10. I was telling you guys, don't worry about it. So when I saw Chainlink, when I saw Cardano, Tezos, those are the type of tokens and protocols and coins that needs to be in the top 10. Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Satoshi Vision and Litecoin, those are dead projects. Like it's just, there's not enough development really happening on those projects. And once you understand that smart contracts, they need decentralized data, and you understand what oracles are trying to do, that's where a band protocol comes into play, or a Chainlink comes into play, because they're going to be able to validate the data that's being fed to those smart contracts. So it's extremely important that you pay attention to oracles when you're dealing with smart contracts. So, and I put up a post right here where, let's zoom in. If you just look at the performance of oracles, the tokens, look at Chainlink. Year to date, it's up 452%. Band protocols up 3,296%. When you look at the DOS network, 4,000%. Zap, 3,000%. Teller, 400%. Once you understand that you need these protocols, give me 1 second. I don't know what just happened. Oh yeah, I zoomed in. Lost the chat for a second. Once you understand the power of these these oracles for smart contracts, this is going to be extremely, extremely powerful. Like I can see Chainlink easily being worth $100 to $150 billion easily, because you just needed to verify and validate the data that's coming in. So these protocols right here, these oracles are going to be extremely valuable in the future if this whole DeFi ecosystem takes off the way that it's taking off. And, I put these posts up to brag a little bit, because if you go back 7 months ago and Ethereum was trading at $143, right? And I was telling you guys about getting involved in Ethereum, getting involved in Bitcoin back when it was at 7,000. I remember the day when Ethereum crashed and Bitcoin crashed with the whole pandemic. And I was telling you guys, nothing's changed about the decentralized finance ecosystem. Nothing's changed about Bitcoin. If you liked Bitcoin at 10,000, if you liked it at 8,000, then you should damn sure love it at 3. You should damn sure love it at 5. Real investors understand that the money is made by buying and holding, right? You can play around and trade and, dip and dab if you want to, but the real money, especially if you're dealing with like some big money, like we're talking about $50,000, $100,000 and better, right? You want to dollar cost average. You want to buy on dips. You want to buy when everyone else is scared, right? And you want to average your way in. So now you have a base price. Like if you were buying Ethereum back between $100 and $143, and right now today it's sitting here at $437. And earlier, I believe it was as high as $440. You're laughing all the way to the bank, right? So this is why it's important that you take the time out to educate yourself. And that's why I created My Tech Academy, so that you guys can get quality education for an affordable price, so that you can now take that money, rather than charging you thousands of dollars for information, charge you $50 for information and let you take the thousands of dollars and invest it and get some gains. So that was the whole purpose. Now, I shift to Ivan on Tech because, you have to be very, very careful with who and what you follow when it comes to this crypto industry, because people like Ivan on Tech, BitBoy, Crypto, Chico Crypto, I'm not saying that they're scammers or anything like that, but you have to understand that there's conflicts of interest in the tokens and things that they talk about on their channel and them getting paid to talk about it and promote it. So Ivan on Tech was promoting this project that just launched named Yams, right? This whole, yield farming thing. If you notice, you never really hear me talk about yield farming because I don't believe in it. I believe that it's a scheme, just like the whole ICO bubble. Because remember, I'm an OG in this space. I've been around for a long time. I've saw this happen time and time again. Newbies come in and they get so, oh my God, this coin is up and that coin is up. And you don't understand that the big boys are pumping it and then they're telling you about it and then they dump it on you. I like to stick with the top 50, maybe the top 100 coins. I don't really like to play in any of that stuff below that. I like to deal with serious projects, with serious teams, and I like the project to stick around for a while. To me personally, I don't care if I make 150% or 300%. I'd rather give up on the 300% and only make 150%, but put my money in something secure. Now, Ivan on Tech, he's an authority in the space. He's well known, but he promoted Yam, and Yam crashed. There was a bug inside of the code. And if you're in My Tech Academy, I was teaching you guys about that with the smart contracts. Once that smart contract is deployed, you can't call it back. So if there's any bugs in that code and smart people can exploit that bug, you're in trouble. And all of the funds, either they're going to create more tokens, inflation, and do double spends, or spend more coins than you wanted, right? Or they're going to figure out a way to manipulate it where they're going to be able to drain the funds out. That's what happened in the DAO hack as well. And look what happened with Yam. Ivan on Tech was pumping and promoting Yam 2 days ago, and the project absolutely crashed. I'm going to read to you a little bit about what happened. It says, 3 days after the launch of Yam, a bug in the rebasing contract has minted far more Yam than intended and has permanently, keyword permanently, disrupted the governance module. This bug flooded the protocol reserve during the second scheduled rebase, and given Yam's governance model, it has made it impossible to reach a quorum necessary for any governance action, meaning no governance action is now possible, and the funds in the treasury are now locked for good. Initially, when the bug was discovered, the team believed it would be possible to save the project if they were able to achieve a quorum for a bug fix proposal before the bug rebase was set to occur. However, shortly after the bug fix was proposed, based on a consultation of security experts, it became apparent the rebase bug would interact with the governance model and prevent the proposed bug fix from succeeding. The treasury of $750,000 remains locked indefinitely as a result of this bug. And you can see the project just absolutely has fallen off of a cliff. And again, I'm not trying to call Ivan a scammer. I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen to him. He has a lot of valuable information when it comes to reporting the news, but you need to be careful with what you are buying. And any of these new protocols, these new tokens, these new projects, I've been around long enough to tell you, stay away from it. Don't become a victim of chasing rallies. A lot of people, they see coins pumping and they chase it. These people like Ivan on Tech, Chico Crypto, BitBoy, Superman, all of them, they get paid by these companies either in the token or in Bitcoin to promote them. You need to make sure that you're dealing with the cream of the crop. That's just me personally. So, just want to make sure that you understand. And again, like I said, it's not an attack, just keeping it real with you. Now, When we come here and we look at the total market cap, right? The total market cap for the entire crypto industry is $374 billion. It's absolutely tiny. I want you to look at this, and I've shared this article before. This is from Visual Capitalist. It says all of the world's money and markets in one visualization. So when I talk to you guys about silver and gold, right? It says how this visualization works. Each square this size is worth $100 billion. So I want you to look at how small the silver market is, the cryptocurrency market is. Silver is $100 billion market cap market. Tiny. Infant. Crypto. Right here they said 244 billion. Obviously we've been pumping. Crypto's 374 billion. Military spending. The US budget deficit's a $3.8 trillion market cap. Coins, banknotes, $6.6 trillion. The Federal Reserve balance sheet is a $7 trillion market cap. Think about that. Bitcoin's $374 billion as of today. The Fed's balance sheet is $7 trillion. If you take all of the world's billionaires, they're worth $8 trillion. All of the world's billionaires are worth way more than the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem. Look at gold. Gold, I always talk about gold. You know, I own gold. Gold, I am a bull on gold. I have gold right here. This is a 1 ounce American Buffalo coin. Gold is almost a $11 trillion market. Huge. So think about that. Gold is an $11 trillion market. It's the market cap of the entire gold market. Crypto's 374 billion. So when I tell you that we're early, when I tell you that we're at the beginning, this is a baby. So when I tell you guys that I'm not selling anything until we hit $1 trillion market cap, I know where we're going just based upon supply and demand, valuations, right? Markets are pendulums. They go from overvalued to undervalued. We know the stock market's heavily manipulated and grossly overvalued. We know that. Not saying that crypto isn't manipulated either because it's tiny, but where do you think the capital is going to flow? It's going to flow to assets that are undervalued, and that's where the crypto's at. Look right here at the Fortune. Look at the Fortune 500. Look how many squares they have. Each one of these squares represents $1 billion, right? Is it a billion? Let me show you, right? 100 billion, right? So silver's 100 billion, 300 billion. So each square represents 100 billion. Look at the stock market. $89 trillion market. $89 trillion market. Look at the money supply, 35.2 trillion. Look at global debt. All of the debt in the world is worth $253 trillion. You don't think that the cryptocurrency ecosystem can't get to 1 trillion? All of this debt, all of this money printing going on, quantitative easing, all of these different programs that they're launching. You don't think that the that money has to go somewhere? And the reason why I'm showing this is I want you to now look at the derivatives market, right? So the derivatives market is the gross market value is $11.6 trillion. The notional value is $558 trillion. And then the notional value, they say, is 1 quadrillion. Many believe the derivatives market, right, the actual notional value is probably like 4 to 5 quadrillion dollars. Why am I talking about this? Because now we have synthetics, right? Where now this is a derivatives protocol for crypto. And I want you to see how small some of these derivatives truly are. And I really encourage a lot of you to go look at synthetics. This is going to be a really, really big project. This trading platform, this decentralized exchange is going to be huge. You guys need to be paying attention to this project. This is going to be a really big project if nothing crazy happens with the code and there's no bugs. Why am I saying this? Because when you come here and you look at the volume, right? The 24-hour volume is poor. It's only $2 million here. With ETH versus the USD, with Bitcoin versus the dollar, we have $1.6 million, right? You can come here and you can create your own derivatives, right? So now you don't have to go through no third party. You don't have to go through JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs, no dark pools, none of that. You can literally create your own derivatives. Now, think about it this way. Let's say that you were a miner and you spent $100 million, $200 million on an entire, mining facility, a mining farm, and you wanted to hedge yourself from the event that, let's say, the hash rate drops. Well, you can create a derivative. You can set up a derivative to hedge yourself in the event that if the hash rate on Bitcoin dropped, now you wouldn't be overexposed, because what happens with a lot of people, they turn off their miners when that happens. Well, you can create your own derivative for that. So there's so many different derivatives and hedges that you can set up. We're at the beginning. Synthetics literally just launched. This is a baby. Look at the volume. So once you start understanding how to develop and create your own derivatives, now you can come up here and start setting up your own derivatives. Like XAG, I believe, XAU versus USD, that's gold versus the dollar. Someone created a derivative for that. You have Dash versus the dollar. You have DeFi versus the dollar. Like literally, you have Cardano versus the dollar, Tron versus the dollar, BNB, Tezos. So there isn't a lot of liquidity there yet. That's where you come into play. Like people keep saying, "Oh, what am I going to do? Where's the opportunity at?" Most of the money isn't made by just buying coins. See, like if you look at the .com bubble or you look at technology in general, like most of the money and wealth is captured by people who build things. Like if you go back to the gold rush, it wasn't the people who actually found gold that became successful, right? It was the people who actually sold the picks and the shovels and all of the machinery to go find the gold. So if you are building dApps and applications on top of Ethereum or on top of Tezos or on top of Cardano, those are going to be the people that's actually going to make a lot of the money, the people who are going to build stuff. Like look at Uniswap. Uniswap's a beast right now. One man created that. Like seriously, there's so much opportunity that you can, do with these things. It's insane. Like once you understand how you can code and build things, insane the amount of opportunity here. Even with the derivative space, if you learn about derivatives, you can start creating your own derivatives, and you could create derivatives literally on anything. And when you go back here to this diagram that I was showing you, the derivatives market, they're quoting it at, $1 quadrillion, the notional value. I believe is much higher than that, because a lot of these derivatives, people don't even really know, like the actual size and scope of the derivatives market, because it's a dark market. Like it's not an open market where you can see like how many shares are traded of Apple. Like it's not an open market. Give me 1 second. This right here is a powerful, powerful, powerful piece of data. 95% of Bitcoin UTXOs are currently profitable, says Glassnode. So if you're inside of the academy, you know what an unspent transaction output is. 95% of those are profitable because most Bitcoiners, they hodl, right? They dollar cost average and they hold on to their Bitcoin. So now when you take a step back and you think about it, if you look at most Bitcoin addresses older than 5 years, over 80% of those Bitcoin hasn't moved. Like it's literally hasn't moved in 5 years. 80% of the Bitcoin supply has not moved. It's just been sitting there in those wallets over 5 years old. Why? Because the whales are holding Bitcoin because they understand digital scarcity. And once you start understanding that, Goldman Sachs, they're already here, but they're coming in a major way. You see Grayscale getting involved. You see people like Paul Tudor Jones getting involved. Like seriously, like serious people who are getting involved in this space. The institutional money is going to come. And all we have to do is literally just sit back and hold, and we're going to make a lot of money. Right? So it says nearly all unspent transaction outputs in the Bitcoin blockchain are currently profitable, meaning that 95% of those funds were received by users when BTC was worth less than today, according to crypto analytics platform Glassnode. An unspent transaction output is created when someone sends a Bitcoin transaction. If they have 2 Bitcoin and they send 1 Bitcoin to a friend, they actually have to cough up both Bitcoin. One gets sent to the friend and the other gets sent back to the original person as a UTXO. That's just a change address for those of you who don't know. So that's powerful that people are holding their Bitcoin. They're not dumping their Bitcoin. People are not literally just trying to pump it and run to the next coin. No, people are holding their Bitcoin. And as I said to you before, I believe, I want to make sure I'm saying this right, Bitcoin addresses that hold more than 1 Bitcoin, for the past 5 years, that Bitcoin has not moved. 80% of the Bitcoin supply has not moved. Very, very powerful. And then here comes good old JP Morgan. Now, I want to play this video for you because, again, I want you guys to understand, whenever you hear a person saying that something's a scam, don't invest your money with this, whenever you hear the bank saying stuff like that, buy more. If you hear Goldman Sachs saying Bitcoin isn't an asset class, buy more. If you hear Ray Dalio talking about, oh, it's not a store of value and it's not a medium of exchange, buy more. 5 years ago, this video, Jamie Dimon made this statement on November 4th, 2015. You're wasting your time with Bitcoin fortune. And now we find out that JP Morgan, not only are they working with Coinbase and helping them with their accounts, but eventually they're going to try to take Coinbase public. And now they're investing money in Consensus. So let's play the clip and then we'll get back to our presentation. Make sure I turn this off.
Yeah, had this whole discussion today about Bitcoins and digital currencies and so on. How do you see when there becomes a shadow system where you have, like you said before, and I totally agree with your assessment, that the governments would try to stop the currency being a Bitcoin currency, but be a technology, but there would be entrepreneurs who would kind of run a shadow economy system based on Bitcoin. So how would you see that play out?
It's just not going to happen. I mean, you're wasting your time.
So you think they're
when the DOJ calls someone up and says that's an illegal currency and it's against the laws of the United States of land, if you do it again, we'll put you in jail, it's over.
So you really
there's no issue. There will be, and this is my personal opinion, there will be no real non-controlled currency in the world. There's no government that's going to put up with it for long. It's kind of cute now. A lot of the senators in Congress will say, I support Silicon Valley innovation. There will be no currency that gets around government controls.
Anybody here want to take an opposite view?
The technology will be used. It may even be used to transport currency, but it will be U.S. dollars.
But digital,
right.
but the right digital currency will be stopped.
Yes, a virtual currency where it's called a Bitcoin as opposed to a U.S. dollar. These things may be very well for cheap transfers of money.
And right on cue, JP Morgan close to transferring the Quorum blockchain to Consensus Investing, right? And so we know they're working with Coinbase. We see Visa doing the same thing. Now PayPal's doing the same thing. Whenever I hear people making statements like that, I truly know that they're ignorant towards the technology. They don't understand that. They don't understand what a protocol is. Bitcoin is a language. You cannot ban the protocol. As long as people want to use it and they have internet access, they're going to be able to use the protocol. Now, you can make it hard as far as making it hard to utilize the fiat on-ramps. But once again, once you have things like Uniswap, you have decentralized exchanges like Uniswap where all I need is a MetaMask wallet and I can literally transact in any cryptocurrency that I want to. And then now you have crypto-backed debit cards coming out where people can have their crypto from their wallet and they can use a debit card. There's no way you can stop this. This is a protocol. It's decentralized. So once you understand that Bitcoin is a language, you can do Bitcoin transactions. We already have the satellite with Blockstream. So even if for whatever reason the internet goes down, as long as you have some type of communication, you'll still be able to maintain a copy of the blockchain with the satellite. But then you have to also think about the fact you can email transactions, you can text message transactions, hell, you can do Morse code transactions, you can do smoke screen transactions. Now, obviously, it would be extremely slow to do that, but you could do it, right? Now, here we go. 6 months ago, Reuters revealed that JP Morgan might transfer its open source enterprise blockchain Quorum to Consensus. Today, the block cites unnamed sources saying there are advanced discussions involving JP Morgan investing $20 million in Consensus as part of a $50 million convertible debt, and Consensus would take over the maintenance and support of Ethereum-based Quorum. So they went from, oh, it's a scam, don't put your money in it, to now they're facilitating accounts with Coinbase and Gemini. Now they're investing in Consensus, right? And for those of you who do not know what Consensus is, let me just finish reading this. It says, Joe Lubin founded Consensus and was one of the original backers of Ethereum. Consensus has been involved in several high-profile enterprise implementations of Quorum. One is the Aura blockchain to authenticate luxury goods. For commodities, there's Komogo Trade Finance Network backed by ING, Citibank, and BNB Paribas, numerous other banks, and Shell. And this is what I was trying to get you guys to understand, that the crypto space is bigger than just Bitcoin. There's so many implications, implementations that you can create of a blockchain, right? Of blockchain-based technology. And when you start understanding tokenizing everything, you really start understanding that you can use this everywhere, not just, to create a currency, but even to validate luxury goods. Because, with counterfeit goods, it's very easy to create you could take this, for example, right? This Louis Vuitton wallet, and you can create a fake one. Like, these bootleggers are so good, you would not be able to tell the difference between a real one and a fake one. Well, when you start dealing with hash functions, unique IDs, one-way mathematical trapdoors, you can verify the identity of that Louis Vuitton wallet to make sure that there isn't two of those wallets. Des Vision says he's definitely ignorant. By following you alone, I made $1,000 starting out from $250 in over 3 months. Small amount, but I ain't selling nothing. Yeah, and again, I don't like to take credit for you guys' gains because I don't want to take credit for your losses. I just try to do my best to educate you guys as to where I'm putting my money at, and I let the results speak for themselves. And No Justice said VeChain to the rescue. Yes, VeChain is powerful. That's one of my biggest bags, and that's what VeChain's all about being able to track supply chains. And when you start understanding the power of having a database that's immutable, where you can track everything that's happening in the database, and for a fact that it's a unique hash for that particular product, that two of them could not exist, that's extremely, extremely powerful for supply chains. And I really encourage you guys to get into that and start, educating yourself about that. And the last thing it says, the bank is unlikely to move away from its existing projects that use Quorum. They included the interbank network, the messaging network, the cross-border payments, and the settlement coin, JPM coin. 3 months ago, we noted 15 blockchain job postings by JP Morgan. I've been telling you guys, there's so many job opportunities, and it's not even just from being a programmer or a developer, just from a marketing standpoint, from a legal standpoint, like learning about crypto law. Like there isn't a lot of laws right now about cryptocurrencies. They're being drafted. Well, guess what? You can start working on that type of stuff. Being a crypto analyst, being a crypto researcher, like working with the FBI to track criminals. There's so many opportunities in this space, and this is why I'm coming more from the programming standpoint and the technology, but there's other job opportunities where, like right here, if you come on to, where's the article at? Right here. These are the most in-demand job skills in 2020, according to LinkedIn. Like I'm not sitting up here trying to shill you, crypto. Like, it's happening right now. The Great Reset's in front of us. Everything is moving we're digitizing everything. It says the top 10 most in-demand hard skills globally. Blockchain is number 1, according to LinkedIn. cloud computing, number 2, analytical reasoning, artificial intelligence. Why do you think I keep telling you guys, go and learn Python? Go and learn Python. It's extremely important. UX design, right? So this is why we're starting in my coding bootcamp. We're starting with JavaScript, a little bit of HTML, a little bit of CSS, and then we're going straight to Solidity. Why? Because if you know how to program and develop smart contracts and dApps, you need to have a front end. That's the Java aspect, front end skills, and you need to have Solidity skills to develop your smart contracts, which is the back end. If you're inside of My Tech Academy, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I describe to you what a dApp is. Even if you don't go through My Tech Academy, go take a course on Udemy. Go take a course on Udacity. Go and take a course on Coursera. Go and learn from MIT OpenCourseWare. Harvard has OpenCourseWare. You can pay $100 and get a certification with Harvard. Go and get you some type of tech skills, because that is going to be the future. We are moving to a cashless society. Hell, some would say we already live in a cashless society, if you want to go there. So I'm telling you, I'm not sitting here, I'm not telling you anything that isn't happening right now. And these are good paying jobs. And some of these jobs will actually train you. Seriously, you can intern. Some of them are like paid internships, depending on where you live. Like, for example, if you're in the academy, we have a job section. And I've been posting jobs. I think I've posted 2 job listings so far inside of there. Go look at them. They're not all about programming. It says Namrata, I'm not even going to say his name, I'm just going to say Namrata, marketing director at LinkedIn, said blockchain had emerged from the once shadowy world of cryptocurrency to become a transformative business solution. Industries outside the financial services sector were increasingly seeking talent with experience in blockchain. She added, including retail, shipping, healthcare, farming, and gaming. LinkedIn measured demand by looking at the profiles of its users to determine the frequency that people with different skill sets were getting hired. So the number one job description that people are getting hired for is blockchain technology. I keep stressing that to you guys. Get involved. And right on cue, here we go. Goldman names new head of digital assets and bet that blockchain is the future of financial markets. Now, just 2 weeks ago, Goldman Sachs put out this article right here, right, where they were basically saying that Bitcoin isn't an asset in the crypto industry, is something you should be paying attention to, right? This was what, May 28th? So that's 2 months ago, almost. And now here we are. And now they're talking about, oh, well, now we're getting involved in digital assets. I keep telling you, do not listen to these banks. Do not listen to these globalists. They want in on the crypto industry. They want inside of it, because crypto is mainly a retail phenomenon. It's not like a lot of, big institutional clients was involved in this. Like when I first got started, there wasn't any crypto Twitter, crypto YouTube. It was the Bitcoin Talk forum. That was it. So now you're starting to see all of this, innovation and stuff happening, and the banks want in on it. So let's read this article. It says, Goldman Sachs is renewing its push into Wall Street's digital future. The firm made Matthew McDermott a managing director who ran the investment bank's internal funding operations. Its new global head of digital assets last month, CNBC has learned exclusively, right? It says McDermott, who is based in London, does have a radical vision for markets. However, a future in which all of the world's financial assets reside on electronic ledgers. I'm going to read that for you again. McDermott, no, forget that. It says a future in which all of the world's financial assets reside on electronic ledgers. What is Ethereum trying to do right now? They're trying to create a decentralized financial ecosystem, DeFi. And now you have Goldman Sachs coming out and saying that they believe that that's going to be the future. You have a chance now to invest in the future before before it gets here. You have a chance to invest in the Amazons, the Apples, the Netflixes before they become Fortune 500 companies. As I told you guys before, if you understand the TCP IP protocol and SMT protocols, no one owned those protocols, so no one could capture that wealth. You couldn't own those protocols, right? So the actual application layer on top of TCP IP, because right, the internet's just an application on top of that protocol. So the Amazons were able to capture the wealth. The Facebook was able to capture the wealth. The protocol didn't capture the wealth. Well, now you're going to have an inverse this time, where the actual protocols like Tezos, like Cardano or Ethereum, where you're going to have the application, they're going to have the actual base layer protocol, and then you're going to have the applications built on top of them. Think of like Legos. In order for you to participate in any of these decentralized applications, you have to have ETH, right? Because you have to pay your gas fees in ETH. Well, that gives Ethereum, the base layer protocol, value. And everything's going to be, the stack is going to be built on top. So Ethereum's going to be able to capture most of the wealth. So if you have any successful dApps, like we're starting to see emerge, Ethereum's going to be successful. So it's going to be the inverse of the whole TCP IP protocol. It says, in activities that today require squadrons of bankers and lawyers, like initial public offerings and debt issuances, could be largely automated. And we already see banks laying off hundreds of thousands of employees globally. We see HSBC. We see Society. I forget how to say that name. I believe it's Societe Generale or something like that. Like, we see all of these big banks either, having massive trouble with, debt, having to restructure, going bankrupt, or laying off mass amounts of people. Why? Because a lot of these jobs are going to be automated. And I was telling you guys about this with the Great Reset the other night. Technology is deflationary because technology doesn't get sick. It doesn't need a 401k. Many of these jobs are going to be automated and taken away because of tech. And when you start thinking about ICOs, where you can literally just create a token and launch, a $500 million, $100 million project, and you don't really need that large of a team, what happens to all of these bankers and these analysts? You don't really need them anymore. The next one, it says, in the next 5 to 10 years, you could see a financial system where all assets and liabilities are native to a blockchain, with all transactions natively happening on chain. McDermott said in an interview, so what you're doing today in the physical world, you just do digitally, creating huge efficiencies. And that can be debt issuances, securitizations, loan origination. Essentially, you'll have a digital financial markets ecosystem. The options are pretty vast. And I keep telling you, I hate to keep repeating myself, but I want to drive that point home for a lot of you guys. It's coming. Technology is going to make a lot of these jobs obsolete because technology is more efficient. And what happens is that whenever new markets emerge, there's a ton of inefficiencies in those markets. I remember back when I first came across Teespring, like I told you guys, I was able to use the Facebook Marketplace. This is when Facebook first really launched their ads platform. You can get ads for dirt cheap. Now the Facebook Marketplace and the ads platform is mature. So they have good pricing. But back then, I was able to get 5-cent clicks, 10-cent clicks, 3-cent clicks, sometimes sub-penny clicks for very popular keywords. You can't find that now. Why? Because the market is mature now. And right now in crypto, we're at a baby right now. There's going to be a ton of inefficiencies in places where you can really play a lot of arbitrage, where you can find job opportunities, literally just a ton of opportunity. And the last thing is, it says Goldman's movements are closely watched in blockchain and crypto circles as proponents have seized on anything the bank does as evidence of the technology's broader adoption. The bank recently drew the ire of the Winklevoss twins, co-founders of the cryptocurrency exchange Gemini, for a report from its consumer and investment management division that declared that Bitcoin isn't an asset class. And that's what I say to you guys. Like, you just have to laugh at this. They say it's not an asset class, but yet they're allocating resources into the industry. And then last couple of paragraphs. It says, if McDermott is eventually successful, the nature of an entire lucrative ecosystem of bankers, lawyers, and back office personnel will be upended forever. He doesn't shy away from the implications. The honest answer is, of course, with any technological advancement, there will be a disruption to the existing status quo, he said. He cited businesses like custody firms that are actively embracing the future by investing in projects. Since the boom days of Bitcoin a few years ago, interest has shifted from retail and rich investors to large institutions, he said. We've definitely seen an uptick in interest across some of our institutional clients who are exploring how they can participate in this space, he said. It definitely feels like there is a resurgence of interest in cryptocurrencies, and we see that right now. We see that. Look at these gains. Look at Grayscale, how much money they're pumping into Bitcoin. They're buying up all of the freshly newly mined and minted Bitcoin. We see the institutional investors are coming, and look at these gains. So this is why I'm not selling anything until we hit at least $1 trillion market cap. We're at 374 billion right now. This is tiny. This is tiny. This is a baby. We have a long way to go, an extremely long way to go as far as money to be made. And I had some more articles, but I don't want to keep you guys too long. Right now, look at DeFi Pulse. There's $5.63 billion locked up into these different DeFi protocols. That's tiny. That's small. The stock market is a $90 trillion market. The gold market cap is $11 trillion market cap. This is $5.63 billion. We are at the beginning. We have an extremely, extremely long way to go. And then that leads us to decentralized exchanges. Look what's happening. Look at the growth in this DEX, Uniswap. Powerful. It says Uniswap's August volume topples July's 1.76 billion record in less than 2 weeks. Insane. Look at this image. Uniswap's total website just went away for a second. Hold on, let's wait for it to come back. There we go. It says Uniswap's total website visits grew 15x in a single month. Uniswap is a decentralized exchange. What's so powerful about that? No KYC, no middleman. Any ERC20 token that you're looking to purchase that's within the Ethereum ecosystem that has the ERC20 standard or the ERC721 standard, you can purchase it. So why do you think you see Chainlink and all these different coins mooning? Now, again, if you're in my Tech Academy, I was telling you guys about Chainlink before it went on this crazy boom. I've been talking to you guys about Chainlink back since it was like $2. So, and again, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just saying this to you that, like, all you need is a MetaMask wallet and you can connect to the DEX. So you don't have to upload a picture of your ID. You don't have to give them any utility bills to verify who you are. You can actually use crypto the way that you want to use, that crypto was intended to be used. Thank you for the donation, Self-Made SM. Do you think the masses are going to get into Ethereum eco once the institutions are in because it's safe? Also, can people who are not oligarchs become ultra wealthy because of the opportunities? Of course you can become ultra wealthy. I mean, if you pull up a chart of, Chainlink back when it was at 30 cents and you see where it's trading at right now, imagine if you put $1,000 or $5,000 into it, you'll be sitting pretty. So there's a ton of opportunity to get insanely wealthy. Because if Ethereum can become, the actual software platform that it's trying to be, if it can be the world's supercomputer, if ETH 2.0 is half as good as they're trying to make it become, if you start looking at sharding and plasma and all of these different, new things that they're trying to introduce with ETH 2.0, you could get extremely, extremely wealthy. I mean, there's a ton of new projects that haven't even been imagined yet. Like there's some token right now. There's some computer scientist somewhere or some programmer somewhere that is going to create the next Amazon or the next Walmart on top of Ethereum or Tezos or Cardano. You just have to find that opportunity. Those opportunities is going to be massive. Like I keep stressing this to you guys. We are at the beginning. Ethereum may crash and burn. Like right now, this project right here, this is my favorite project right now, Polkadot. When you start understanding interoperability, right now, Ethereum allows you to be able to swap between tokens that has the ERC20 interface. But when you start looking at Polkadot, where they're trying to make all chains interoperable, where you can swap between different chains, PolkaSwap's going to be insane. That DEX, this is by far my favorite project right now, because this is what right now Polkadot is what ETH 2.0 is trying to become. Polkadot is it today, right now. So this is, when you understand this technology, this is going to be extremely powerful when you understand. And I encourage you, I'm going to drop this in the chat for you guys. You need to go and study this project. This might be one of the biggest projects, in the next, 3 to 5 years, if they can pull off what they're saying. And again, guys, this is where your investor hat comes into play to answer your question. We don't know which tokens, which protocols are going to be the one to lead the charge, right? Right now, we know that Ethereum's having problems with scalability. We know that Ethereum's having problems with its fees. That's where, ZK rollups come into play, EIP 1559, like all of these different things are, coming into play. So this is why, as an investor, you need to make sure that you are, educating yourself, knowing what's legit and what's not, and really being selective. Now, think about it. If the stock market's an 89, to answer your question, self-made SM, if the stock market's an $89 trillion market, and we're sitting here and we're at 374 billion, can you imagine what the price of Ethereum is going to be at a $500 billion market cap, at a $1 trillion market cap, at a $3 trillion market cap? What is the price of Bitcoin going to be at a $4 or $5 trillion market cap? Right? Because if Bitcoin's digital gold and the gold market cap is $11 trillion, and if Bitcoin can capture half of that, what is the price of Bitcoin? So you have a ton of opportunity. Look at Chainlink. Chainlink can easily be $100 billion asset. $100 billion asset. Look at the market cap right now. The market cap's only $5.9 billion. What do you think the price of Chainlink is going to be if it's $100 billion? $200 billion. Now start thinking about inflation. Start thinking about hyperinflation. Start thinking about the fact that we have a government that's printing $2 trillion every month in different programs or bailing out Wall Street. That's just one government. Now let's start thinking about the ECB. They're printing money as well. Start thinking about, the Japanese central bank, the People's Bank of China, the central bank in China. Like literally, they're all printing money. Everywhere you look, they're printing money. Now, Raven just posted, what about FedCoin? There we go. That's the last thing we want to cover right here, right? It says, I hope I answered your question. It's a DEX. It's called a DEX, DEX, Decentralized Exchange DEX. It's not a DEX. Like I was saying like a DEX, but the word is DEX, a decentralized exchange. Boom, 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 boom. So now we have the U.S. Federal Reserve is actively investigating distributed ledger technologies and how they might be used for digitizing the dollar. If you go back to when this whole pandemic hit, inside of the CARES legislation, they were trying to introduce the Fed coin in the actual legislation, but they just couldn't get it into the legislation because think about it. I was reading an article where they stated that they were sending checks to dead people. And this is why I laugh when I hear people talk about like how like the government can like, break Bitcoin or the government can break, cryptography. The government cannot even create a website that functions and works properly. They were mailing checks to dead people with the whole stimulus thing, the people who weren't even alive. So it says, Federal Reserve Board Governor Lael Brainard said the U.S. Central Bank has been testing DLT, right, over the past several years to study what a digital currency might do to the existing payments ecosystem, monetary policy, financial stability in the banking sector. Bernard cited the ongoing pandemic as one issue that reinforced the need for immediate and trusted access to funds, noting that recipients of emergency stimulus funds spent them quickly, indicating they urgently needed them. What did I just say? This information was in the CARES legislation when they were trying to introduce the Fed coin. It says the crisis is a dramatic reminder of the importance of a resilient and trusted payments infrastructure that is accessible to all Americans, she said. It was noted that a sharp reduction in spending early in the pandemic crisis caused many households increased spending started on the day they received emergency relief payments. The idea of a digital dollar as a tool to distribute emergency stimulus funds is not new. Congress has been kicking the idea around since at least March. However, no concrete public efforts have been made to create a blockchain-based central bank digital currency in the U.S. Now, what do I always say on this channel? Problem, reaction, solution. You have to ask yourself, what type of cashless society do you want to live in? Do you want to live in a cashless society where everything is tracked and managed by the government, which we already basically live in, and at any moment they can cut you off and literally just say, okay, you went to the wrong protest and shut off your wallet? Or do you want to live in a decentralized cashless society where you control the keys and you control your funds? And I'm going to play a quick little clip. I shared this clip on my Instagram. Give me 1 second.
So children being born today will not use paper or metal money. We have to think about what kind of cashless society do you want to live in? Do you want your children to live in? Think about when you buy something from a corner store with cash. The merchant does not know your name, your address, what the last thing you bought, maybe what you're most likely to buy next. And you know what? They didn't need to know any of that. That was fine. But now this is being taken away from us by corporations and governments who insist that for our security, they need to know everything about us. I think this is nonsense, and I think we need to fight back. And thankfully, about a decade ago, some group of people came up with a way out. If you look at the evolution of money from when we used to have a barter system through shells, through precious metals stamped with king's faces on them, to paper money, and now to credit cards and mobile payments, someone created another way to have a money system without a central authority, and that is Bitcoin. We think about the way digital payments work today, and again, all payments will be digital. There's a third party in the middle, whether it's Visa, Venmo, PayPal, WeChat. Someone in the middle can freeze your transaction, confiscate your funds, surveil and spy on you. With Bitcoin, your transaction is completely peer-to-peer. The payment processing is done by a decentralized global competition and not by an entity. This is a revolutionary step in human history. So children being born today will not use paper.
And I'm going to find the entire lecture that he did. I think it's a really good keynote that he put together. But we know that they want to create some type of government-issued digital currency where they can be able to control, monitor, and track everything. So we have to basically figure out which type of cashless society that we want to live in. Do we want to live in a cashless society where we have some privacy, where we have some anonymity, where we can control our funds, where we can control how much of our privacy that we give to corporations or people? Or do we want to live in a world that's controlled by the banks and controlled by the financial elite? These are questions that we will have to address and answer, and crypto solves these problems. Now, someone just put in XMR. Monero is my favorite cryptocurrency by far, Jordan Beville. Monero is what people think they're purchasing when they buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is extremely flawed when it comes to privacy. Many refer to Bitcoin as a surveillance coin because you can literally, if you have someone's public address, you can see how much Bitcoin they have in their wallet, and you can also see where they've actually sent that Bitcoin and who they sent it to. And if you can figure out a way to somehow link an individual to that address, that's problematic, right? So Monero is by far the best when it comes to privacy. But the problem is Monero is too good when it comes to privacy. And we all know what happens to things that are too good. Eventually, Big Brother will step in and try to figure out a way to, make it very, very hard. And I believe that Monero by far is going to, exchanges are going to stop listing it. And this is why we need a DEX, right? This is why we need decentralized exchanges. I teach you guys inside of my Tech Academy how to buy Monero. Because see, Monero, they have an anonymity set, and then they have the Ring CT with Ring confidential transactions. So there's just so many ways that you can obscure data on the actual blockchain when you're dealing with Monero. And the fact that they take a key image of the actual legit transaction in each block, they don't actually put all of that information like with Bitcoin. If you come to the Explorer, for example, because I know some of you guys, you don't really know a lot about Bitcoin. I can come to the blockchain Explorer here with Bitcoin, and I can click on this block, and then I can see everything in this block. I can see all of the transactions. So I can see the hash, I can see the addresses, and I can see who they sent Bitcoin to. I don't know who these people are, but I can see these addresses. And then I can come and I can click on this address, and then I can come in here and I can see, okay, this person received 4.1 Bitcoin and they sent 4.1 Bitcoin. Let's come down here. Let's see how much Bitcoin these people have. I want to see, I want to find one where they still have Bitcoin in their wallet. So I can come here and let's pull up this address right here. None of them have final balances in it. So let's see the one they sent it to. Right. So look at this, right? So I can see, I know this person's address now, right? So now I can see this person's final balance. So I know how much Bitcoin they have in here. What if this person had 22 Bitcoin or this person had 32 Bitcoin, right? So now if I know that this person has 32 Bitcoin, now this person's a target. Not forget even with the government, just think about hackers or think about a person who may want to hurt you. So, you need to start thinking about, these different things. So I would encourage a lot of you to really start studying Monero. That's going to be the next course that we're going to do for the introduction level students, is going to be a course on Monero. And then, like I said before, for those of you who are going to become yearly members, we are going to create a course as far as to how to scale into positions, how to manage your risk and reward, how to properly do dollar cost averaging, etc. So, no, I say get a ledger just for the simple fact of you don't want to leave your cryptocurrency sitting on an exchange, right? So it's not smart to leave crypto sitting on an exchange because that exchange can get hacked. You guys know my story. I lost a lot of crypto. I should be worth probably $20-30 million now for the amount of crypto I had stolen from me on Mt. Gox. So please do not leave your crypto sitting on an exchange, not your keys, not your crypto. So that's why you get a hardware wallet. But a hardware wallet, you still can track it because, right, you have a public address. Like you're sending your Bitcoin from the exchange to your hardware wallet. So that's one of the biggest problems with Bitcoin. Again, it's not saying that Bitcoin isn't good. It's just simply saying that different cryptocurrencies, they serve different purposes. And don't worry, if you're in the academy, you'll understand these things once I go through the course, because I tell you guys all the time, crypto is something that you can't really just talk about it. You have to show, right? Because we're dealing with mathematics, we're dealing with cryptography, we're dealing with hash functions. Like these are things that you have to make sure that you have to see it, right? Like to understand how big 2 to the 256 is, you have to actually see the number, and then you have to have a person visualize it and show it to you visually. So, excuse me. What are we coming up on? An hour? All right, so I'll go 5 more minutes. I don't want to go too long. Just brought a Nano X. How do you feel about Bitcoin off the Ledger Live? It's nothing wrong with buying a Bitcoin from there. I teach you guys how to run your Bitcoin through, different DEXs. Like you have BISC, you have Changely, for example. You need to learn how to utilize, Proton Mail, VPN, using the Tor browser and the Tor network. Like I'm not going to teach you guys. I'm not going to tell you exactly how to not pay your taxes, but I'm going to point you in the right direction of how to use technology that can obscure certain data to protect you from certain things. And you do what you want with it, right? I don't want to take any legal liability, but to avoid certain things, sometimes it's better just to buy your Bitcoin on Coinbase and call it a day. But there's nothing wrong with buying your crypto on Ledger Live. But just understand that anytime you're using a debit card, that can be tracked, right? It can be linked back to you because you're using your debit card. So if you're not running that crypto through a DEX with a VPN, with an air-gapped computer, you still can be tracked, right? Because that transaction is going to be registered to your debit card. So, but it's nothing wrong. If you're not trying to avoid paying taxes, you just want to buy with Ledger Live, yeah, go ahead. No problem. I don't have any thoughts on Compound. I don't have any thoughts right now on Compound. I haven't really looked at the project or studied the project, so I don't have an answer for you. I like to talk about, being that people are watching me and I have a lot of trolls, I like to talk about things that I'm well-versed and knowledgeable about. I mean, there's over 3,000 different cryptocurrencies. So just certain things I'm not that well-versed on. So I don't really have an answer for you right now when it comes to Compound. You guys, I don't own any of those lending protocols and stuff like that. My bags are Ethereum, big bag of Tezos, big bag of Tezos. Monero, I have Cosmos. I love Cosmos, one of my favorite projects right now. VeChain, big bag of VeChain. Ontology, big bag of Ontology. Basic Attention Token, 0x. You guys, you know my coins. I've told you guys about my coins. So, but with that being said, guys, for those of you who want to learn about blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies, this is why I created my Tech Academy. And we have a 7-day trial. You test it out. You see if you like it. If you like it, you can stick around. For those of you who are lifetime members and you are part of the coding bootcamp, you have to make sure that you're keeping up with the modules so that when we start building our applications, you're not left behind. I don't want guys or women come into the live streams that we're doing and you're asking me what's a string or what's control flow. You should know these things and you should learn these things from reading the books and taking the modules inside of the coding bootcamp. Because once we start building things, we're going to be moving fast. So I'm trying to start slow to give you guys some time to catch up, and then we'll start moving forward. Also, for those of you, a lot of you have been asking me about booking a consultation. There's a tab up there. You submit your question. You tell me what you want me to talk to you about or teach you about or consult about, and then I'll let you know if I can answer it, and then we'll go from there. Also, the resources tab. A lot of you, like a lot of you guys are like asking me, well, where do I go from here? What do I do with this? Read the book, The Internet of Money, right? Read the Bitcoin Standard, right? Like these books are here for a reason. Like read these books so that you can educate yourself about the technology and what's going on. There's even free audio versions of this book on YouTube, right? Audio books on YouTube. Make sure that you're taking the time out. Like I'm just one source. There's thousands of other people who are more knowledgeable than I am on crypto. Make sure that you go there. You get an email. So once you and I dialogue, and I feel that I can help you answer your question, natural born girl. So like for example, if you ask me about starting a clothing line, I have no idea how to start a clothing line. So I'm not taking your money for that. That would be like, I'm not here to try to nickel and dime you or scheme you out your money. I want to talk to you about precious metals. I want to talk about crypto. I want to talk about entrepreneurship. Those are things that I know about. Those are things that I'm well versed in. If you ask me about, something that I don't know about, I'm going to say I can't help you. That's just the way it works. So first you submit your questions, you and I dialogue. Then I'm going to send you, once you get to the consultation page, there's going to be a set time block, Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday, that you and I can get together and dialogue. And then you'll pick the time, and then we'll have our first consultation, and then we'll have a follow-up consultation as we go from there. Rideshare done right. What do you mean? What kind of computer do I need? As far as what? As far as the coding bootcamp is concerned, the coding bootcamp, first of all, that's not for our regular introductory level members. Just so you know, make sure that you're reading the different price points that we have before you sign up. You can use any computer, but I would prefer using a Mac. Macs are just much easier to use, and a lot of the software, especially when we get to Solidity, it just works better with a Mac, in my personal opinion. I have a MacBook, but it's a 2012. Georgia Tech said it was too old for their program. Yeah, it'll work. It's not too old. It'll work. We're running lightweight applications. It's no problem. Last question I answer. Red Pill Finance. I think that's very problematic, and this is the problem with KYC. And this is why I don't like AML laws and KYC, because why should a company hold on to that type of data? Why does a company need to hold on to my credit card information, my address? They should not be holding that data at all, right? That data should be discarded immediately. But because of rules and regulations, because of the government, they require them to hold on to that data, which makes them a honeypot. Because now, if I hacked Ledger, I now know they don't have your private keys. Remember, your private keys are generated locally on the device. So the devices are secure. That's not the problem. The problem is now, not only does the government know you own crypto, because if you're on that list, that means you purchased a ledger, which means that you own crypto. Also, hackers know that you own crypto, and they have your address now, they have your banking records, and they have your email address, and they have your telephone number. That's a lot of information about you, which now makes you susceptible to possibly getting hacked in the future and makes you a target. So that's extremely problematic from that standpoint. But as far as the device is concerned, remember, your private keys are generated locally with a random number generator. So the seeds and all of that stuff is stored directly on the chip inside of the device. So you don't have to worry about that happening as far as them like having access to the device just because it was hacked. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to end it here. We're coming up on an hour and 13 minutes. So again, please like the video, share the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, join my mailing list. If you have any questions or concerns, follow me on Instagram and send me a message, or you can message me through the actual website, My Tech Academy. And if you're looking to learn about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, we have a free 7-day trial. The link is in the description below. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a blessed and beautiful evening.